Hi Harsh, welcome to BizTalk. That's my great pleasure, very great one, having you with me today. How are you?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I'm good.
Great. Thanks to you to come and for your time. So let's start talking a little bit about yourself and your idea, okay?
Okay, sure. So my name is Chaudhari. I'm from Mumbai, India, and I'm deeply interested into robotics and electronics since I was like, a little kid. And then I started my own company when back in 2018. So that company provided a free space to young kids so that they can utilize my space and my resources to build ideas of the next generation. So that's not my idea, but yeah, just a little background about myself. So my current idea is that before 3 or 4 months, it came to my realization that coal coal is depleting, right? Uh, in the world, coal is depleting quite dramatically, and that is why I had an idea of um, improving tidal energy, which is at the same place where wind energy was 20 to 25 years ago. It is still into the development space. So my basic idea is to remove the barriers between tidal energy and reusing it entirely. So about 40% of the world's population stays just under 100 miles from the ocean. And that is also a good reason to use tidal energy so that we can transfer it very easily without any power loss. And and the other reason being the the input we have to give into the thermal power plants, like the thousands of tons of coal every day, the thousands of tons of water, so that it can generate electricity for us. It is not very efficient in terms of the natural resources that we use, that we put into it. So my basic idea was to cut it off entirely, the thermal energy thing. So what I did was, I'm into the development phase of making a machine, making a generator, which will be then put into the rivers and the seabeds, so that it can generate electricity in high tide as well as in the low tide, and of course in the transition from high tide to a low tide, and vice versa. So I have a prototype ready. I did the testing few months before. Um, it is this way. I did the testing few months before, about 100 kilometers away from my home. I did it in an ocean, if you would, and it worked pretty well. And the amount of current I got was 240 volts AC, and which is the same current we use here in India. So it's a pretty good thing, right? So then now me and my dad are planning to get it, into the commercial thing. We are planning to get into the commercial stage. Um, so we are planning to make a generator, if you will, which will provide electricity at the most lowest cost as possible. Because here in India, electricity is like 10 cents per unit, and I want to make it like 3 or 4 cents a unit. Because if I use this technology, the tidal energy technology, I'm not giving any input. It's the only money I'm charging is the machinery I have bought for it, and some amount of maintenance I'm going to put into it. That's it. And unlike thermal energy, which requires like tons of money per day, and that is why they are costly, right? So my idea is to set up energy power plants near my area, so that the people, because of course right now as well, people around my area, I live in the coastal region, by the way. So the people around my area are not having the access to electricity, still, like continuous electricity, they have not been provided by the government yet. So my idea was to just give a backup to their livelihood, right? So to give a backup to the electricity situation over there, so that they can live a proper life, right? And not a miserable one. So it is all about that, about the energy generation prospects, solving the entire this dilemma of energy generation by renewable resources. And of course, I've solved quite a lot of problems in this journey as well. Like there is a lot of rusting when you take things in the seawater, right? So I have developed a technology of cathodic protection, we call it. So we make the entire structure of the generator a cathode, and that prevents it from rusting. And then also I've solved the problem of the sound generated by the generator, so that the fishes that use echolocation, like dolphins and stuff like that, which use echolocation to catch their prey, won't get triggered by the vibrations by the generator. So I have minimized the vibrations removed by the generator. And it is a thing which floats on water, so that we don't care if it's a high tide or a low tide. It will work 24 hours a day, because even if it is a low tide, the tides are still going on way back into the sea, but they are going on. So my idea was to make a thing which will be fairly reliable, um, and which will provide us the um, which will give us the uh, you know energy at a cheaper cost, and much I just want to increase the reliability of how people think of electricity generation is right now. So that is all about my idea. And I am planning to take it to commercial stage, and I have gathered the expenses for it. So it is around $150,000, and for the first plant to be set it up. And the government over here is quite supportive of me. And I'm like, I'm coming into the newspapers and the news channels every single day, because they love my idea. And the mayor of my city, the mayor of my town are quite supportive of me, and they are granting me the permission to set up this energy plants at the coastal areas. So that is the thing going on right now. Yeah, that is all what it is.
Thank you, Ash. I'm so astonished. I mean, you are so young, just 16. You've done so much already, and you are planning to do something even more complicated now, which is I'm very, very glad I can talk to people like you. And now you've been talking about producing energy from the sea, okay, and reducing cost for the people, which is absolutely great. And also do not disturb the dolphins, right? Reducing vibrations, taking care of the environment. I mean, this is something beautiful and absolutely great. Now, when it comes to the business model, right? And after we talk a bit more about technology, but are you going to run a no-profit company, or you still want to make some money?
No, I want to make some money.
And how do you handle the cost of the production, and how much profit you want to charge on top of the production cost, right? How much can be your margin, making sure you are selling to the users, right? Which is to the population, at very affordable energy.
Yeah. So I have two ways to go about it. One way being, I can sell my generators to big companies who want it, and they can sell the electricity further to the population who have a bigger reach. Or else I can do that thing myself, right? I can deploy the generators all by myself, and give out the electricity to the population. So if it is about giving my product to the companies to use and to generate electricity, then it might be a different thing, because it will be the unit economics. By the unit economics, I think I will make more money per generator, because of course I'm selling the unit as a whole, and it's a visible thing, a visible charge I'm taking for the same. And if I go for the if I go for the distribution all by myself, by putting generators in the sea by myself, then of course I'll charge way less for the electricity I'm giving out. Of course, I'll get margin, but I have yet it's yet to decided. It's yet to be decided, because I have not made the real one yet. So I don't really know how much will be the cost of the thing, and I don't know how much will be the cost of the maintenance and the government procedures, and the workers and things like that. So I'm still about to dive deep into it. Yeah.
So you've been running already some tests, okay, on your prototype. Did it go well?
Yeah, they did go well.
And I mean, actually, how does the process work? I mean, you are going to move this, let's talk machine device inside the ocean, right? Inside the sea. And
Yeah.
how long it will be there? And how are you going the maintenance of this? How does it work?
Okay, so talking about the technology prospects, I think the the way I'm going to pursue it will be me putting the entire thing into the sea, and the sea waves or the pressure created by the sea while transitioning from the high tide to a low tide or opposite, the blades of the generators will rotate because of that pressure, because the generator is fixed at one place, and that is why it will generate electricity out of it. And one more thing I forgot to mention is that I've also created a technology which will set the entire generator in a place where there will be where the electricity output will be the most efficient. So we don't have to care about the manual monitoring over it, about setting it in the right place. It will do it all by itself. So the manual cost, the manual labor is also reduced dramatically. And talking about the maintenance of the thing, the maintenance can be a bit of a problem because, of course, seawater can rust almost anything. And talking about the business prospects, it has to be a well done steel made um, generator, so it may be affected, it can be affected by the seawater. So what I'm doing for that is just diving deep into the research so that I can reduce the maintenance charges on the later on maintenance charges. So I'm still doing research on that prospect.
I mean, what about the trust? How do you the infrastructure? Okay, how do you move the energy from your machine inside the sea outside and into the
Okay.
net?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite simple because so I'll just show you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the thing which goes under the sea, and
Yep.
these are the floaters. These are the floaters for this thing, so that it floats on the water, so that we don't have to care about the high tide or the low tide. And this is the tether which connects it to the ground. And there's one more unit which I can't show you because it's quite heavy over there, which actually automatically pulls it inwards of, I mean, takes it closer to the shore, or lets it, you know uh, throws it deep into the sea according to the conditions right now of the level of water, according to the level of water. Because of the pressure of the pressure of the sea waves, basically the rotors rotate and we generate electricity. Simple as that.
How does the sea produce pressure on your machine? Is
Okay.
is the waves?
Yeah,
In
waves.
waves. So,
Yes.
and based on waves, what happens? You need I mean, for what is my experience? I remember I'm still going to the beach, right? At the beginning, right, when you have the sea touching the sand or whatever it is, anyway, the coast, waves can be very high. But for example, when I was born, they were not high at all. Okay, so you don't have actually any waves. So how deep you need to go inside the sea to make sure that your machine works?
So that is the thing. That was the problem I tackled. So I made a controller. So what it does is, it actually takes feedback from the electricity which is coming outside from the generator, and automatically it senses, and it tries to adjust it in a place where there will be more amount of electricity. There
Okay.
are the chances of electricity coming more, so it adjusts self adjusts itself into the place.
And my next question is, can you move the device? Do you have any
Yeah,
engine inside that moves accordingly where you have
yeah.
more waves, so more energy to be produced?
Yeah, so that is the thing. So when that controller gets to know that the amount of energy coming out is quite less, what it does is, it automatically shuts off the energy coming out from this rotors and supplies them to this blades again from the outside, so that they can propel themselves and take the generator forward. uh,
Okay.
a tiny amount of current is provided, of course, so that we don't have a lot of input, so that we don't lose a lot of energy.
And what about storage? Where are you going to store this energy? Are you going to
I don't
sell
think
straight to the network?
yeah, I think so because AC voltage cannot be stored, of course. So of course we need to directly send that electricity to the households directly.
I mean, you were talking before giving your machine to energy producer. It probably can be quite rewarding for you in terms of revenue generating, but it's not going to be rewarding at all for the users, right? Because who's going to buy? We buy from them, and they will charge again much more than you want, right? So for your business model to really reach what you want, so give energy to the people at a less price, okay, more affordable price, you maybe need to produce and need to do everything by your own, all right? Then selling to majors. Now, because of that, how much you really think you need to move forward? Forget selling to, of course, you can do whatever you want, but for fully achieve what you want, fulfill your dream, you should do everything by your own, okay? So how much, do you have an idea how much you need, at least to start producing energy?
Anywhere between 150 to $200,000.
With $200,000, what you can reach? Yeah, the first prototype working properly?
Now, I think with $200, I can easily manage to make a entire energy plant and start supplying electricity to the people or sell it to any other guy.
I'm saying, do you think is enough this amount of
Well,
funding?
actually, you see, uh, a dollar over here is
Yeah.
75 Indian rupees, right? So if I have $200,000, it's about 1.5 crore rupees over here, right? So
Yeah.
in 1.4 crore rupees over here, I can easily buy good motors for my thing and good shafts for my thing, extra things as well, and deploy it as well, and hire some technicians who can work with me. So it's quite a lot of money over here. It might not be over there in the US.
No, that's for sure. We have a good exchange rate.
Yeah.
How many people working with you now on this project? Are you alone, or you already a team working with you?
Actually, for this one, I think I'm alone. But yes, I have full support from my parents, so they provide me resources for the prototype levels.
And what about the team, people working with you?
I had a team till last year until the Corona hit. I think there were some 100 people working with me in my non-profit back then, and we were just developing next gen technologies, in which we also developed the Mars rover, because for which we got a recognition and compensation from NASA.
What's your vision for your idea? I mean, if you had, let's say you had the money tomorrow, okay, you can start 200,000, you go. What's the vision? Where you want to, what do you want to achieve? Where you want to go in 2025, 2027?
As a 2025 or 2027, I see myself as a guy who is producing a lot of energy, renewable energy, which can benefit tons of people over here, as population of India is massive, and of course a lot. It also says about, it also talks about a lot of consumers as well, because the population is massive. Um, and if we give out the energy for cheap, of course. So my goal, my vision would be to reach at least a billion homes in 2025.
Okay, dollars?
No, a billion homes, billion homes. I mean,
Okay,
to generate,
okay. So
to give out energy.
what about the valuation? Where do you want to see yourself?
I don't think I want to be a unicorn. I think I want to be a cockroach, because I want to stay in the business as long as possible, not like a unicorn. You know what I mean? So yeah, a cockroach would be better.
That's a good idea. Absolutely. I mean, sometimes creating what we normally call a lifestyle company, it's even better, right? They speed up immediately and after maybe lose or selling everything. So if you have the chance to give a message, all right, to investors, why they should give you the money, why invest in harsh, why invest in harsh idea, and how they can one day exit from getting some money back. What's your message here?
So I do think by my side that the systems I'm creating have have a lot of potential in the future to make a lot of money from the investor perspective, because electricity is a daily need. Like every single second, like there's tons of megawatts of energy which is used all over the world. So electricity is like the thing people will never stop using. So there's got to be some profit in electricity as a whole. So it's a good it will be a good idea if they invest in my company.
And this is for the exit. And I mean, but are you confident you can get to the point? That point?
Unless I start, I won't know, right? I mean, unless I start at a big level, I won't know if I can get over there or not. So yeah, I think I can.
Harsh, it's been a very great pleasure with me today. An absolutely pleasure. I do wish you all the best. I mean, I'm so happy to see guys like you, 16, just get into the business entrepreneurship. It's simply beautiful. I hope I can see more youngsters like you get ready and do something good for society. Thank you very much, Harsh.
For sure.
And take care.
Thank you. Thank you very
Bye
much.
bye. Bye bye.